All right, guys, welcome. Let's get started. It's Sunday, June 13th. My name is Dave Coker, and this is, of course, the week ahead. My apologies. This is coming out a couple days late because I actually took the cure. Got my second COVID vaccination. Woof, sort of knocked me for a loop, so I didn't get a chance to do the post-production on this until today. All right, now let's start out today. Remember, this is 7 slides for 7 days. Just what me and my friends are talking about. We tend to bounce slides back and forth and call each other up and yell and stuff. It's what passes for a pub conversation in lockdown. But check this out. There's some media stuff that I've been reading that talks about inflation, and it seems to suggest that inflation is age related. In other words, as you're older, you get more afraid of inflation. And they base this upon asking younger people in their 20s and below the age of 30, something like that, about their fear, their expectation for inflation. And it's definitely, I saw the data, I saw the report actually, it's definitely highly correlated. It's very fascinating. Here might be why. And this is a wonderful chart off BLS's website. And again, you can graph it out. It's 100 years of inflation in one spot. And I remember, I'm not that old, guys. I know you think I'm ancient, but I do remember back in the late 80, 81, or late 80, 1981, something like that, when inflation was running roughly 15% in the US. I remember because the risk-free rate was about 18% for bills. It was really amazing. So it's interesting to take a look at this to get some perspective on the problem. And I invite you guys to go get a look at it. And also what I would say you should do is start to keep a chart like I do, a spreadsheet like I do, with budgets and expenditures against the budget, and start to see, I've mentioned this before, inflation in the UK is not below 2% as they claim. It's roughly 11%. And this is a reason we all got to take some risk to make some money. So what about meme stocks? What a beautiful thing to play with, my God. And they're back, guys. Now, they're widely reported by the media or looked down upon by the media as toys for the millennial and the Wall Street bet guys. Oh, and I got to do a big shout out to that crowd. I do love that action in that subreddit. I do participate. I've got a pseudonym, and I ain't telling you what my name is. But it's really fascinating. One of my friends did this. He pulled the holders list, for AMC. And you can see here, guys, Vanguard's got a big position, as does BlackRock. It's actually pretty wild. There's a couple shorts down there. Even Morgan Stanley, though, is long about 250,000 shares, I should say. So yeah, big money, institutional investors are playing with meme stocks. And you know something? From the way they talk, I bet they play with crypto too. Well, you got to keep in mind, guys, you can play with crypto. There's plenty of altcoins out there, but don't mess with Bitcoin. Elon's been mad-mouthing it, so much so that Anonymous is warning him, and that's great entertainment, I'll tell you. That's really good. But, I'd say leave Elon alone. Here's, on the left is a picture, and I didn't make this one, my buddies did. On the left is Elon before he traded Bitcoin, and on the right is Elon after he traded Bitcoin. Yeah, and he's looking pretty rough, and he sold only about 15%. As he claims, of Tesla's holdings of Bitcoin. It brought some revenue in, which he needed because TSLA was running a loss. Well, here's the thing, guys. On January 9th, I sold some Bitcoin, but I only sold 3/1000th of a coin just to test the pipes. I wanted to get all my Bitcoin is non-custodial. I've never done it through an exchange, and I wanted to make sure I could sell it and get the money in my bank account. No ill health, but I sort of felt bad afterwards. It's like when you eat a big chunk of cake and you go and have the whole cake. It sort of tastes so good, but you feel sick later, and it felt good being able to liquidate my Bitcoin after holding it dormant for so long and realizing some money. But yeah, I maybe shouldn't have done that. I felt sort of bad afterwards. I'm pretty much a buy and hold guy, meaning I don't trade, but someone trades. Someone trades stocks, someone trades Bitcoin. And talking about this, who's actually transacting? Who's trading the Bitcoin? This is a really curious chart, guys, because look at this. It's color-coded, and what we're doing is we're looking at transaction volume. But the rules are pretty simple on this. The redder the chart is, the more volume going on. And my gosh, look at Africa, the land of the red volume. Now, I suspect I know what's going on. It's not that there's a bunch of traders down there. Oh, there's some guys down in where I used to live, down in Nigeria and Ghana, Egypt as well. Hello, people, if you're listening in. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I suspect that they're getting the volume because they're running transactions on the Lightning Network. And keep in mind, there's a lot of unbanked people there, but they're not dumb and they all have cell phones. They embrace technology much more so than we do in the West. Having lived down there, I can tell you this. So they're doing daily transactions with Bitcoin using a network that runs on top of the Bitcoin network called the Lightning Network. And they're using it to buy, to pay for groceries, things like that. It's really cool. But in any case, curious about who else is into Bitcoin. Well, this is wonderful. Yeah, one of my friends found this, right? It turns out that the Fed owns some of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin bonds. Remember, they sold this high yield debt. The word junk is fine. I live with that because in my taxable account, I own nothing but junk. I take a lot of risk in that account. But yeah, the Fed holds a good chunk, small piece. Remember, small for the Fed is really big for us. So they hold MicroStrategy's Bitcoin linked junk bonds. So yeah, that means the Fed is holding Bitcoin. I can make an argument for that because check this out. The Fed's got MicroStrategy's bonds. If MicroStrategy defaults, they take the collateral. They're going to be taking Bitcoin. So on some level, they own Bitcoin. And that's cool. That's okay with me. I sort of like that. But enough of this talk. Let's talk about me. And again, a lot of my friends, they're giving me a hard time because I tend to take a lot of risk. And we all like risk, but I'm sort of a maniac sometimes. And I got a trade going on right now, fairly well leveraged. Not going to tell you what it is. Typically, I buy and hold, but I do some speculative trading in my taxable account. But the retirement money is different. I'm not kidding. This really blew some of my buddies' minds when they saw this. Retirement money is very, very different, guys. Gold and silver right there, bullion. I've got stocks, and then I've got cash as a hedge, right? That's the rule. A little bit of cash as a hedge, yeah? You got to do that. You got to have something to fall back on. So if I totally screw up in my taxable account, although I'm doing really well, but if I totally screw up, then I can always fall back on my gold, my shares that I do have there, very nice dividend aristocrat shares, as well as the cash. At least that's the plan. But the old Yiddish expression, man plans and God laughs. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. We'll have to see. Oh, and this is really cool. My God, I love learning things. And I'll tell you, I finally learned that revenge spending is a thing. And Lamborghinis are sold out now. They sold out about a week ago in June. It's the first year ever that they've sold out of Lambos so early. Usually, apparently, it's a Christmas thing, which surprised me as well. And all I got to say about that is, my God, it's no wonder people die in debt and some people struggle paycheck to paycheck. I guess, if you got it, you flaunt it, and hopefully it doesn't go away. I cannot imagine owning a Lambo. Just for fun, I looked at two factors. I looked at the insurance cost. And here in London, if you get one of these Lambos, you're going to be paying roughly $1,000 a month for insurance. And boy, I bet you won't sleep too well with that thing in your driveway. But aside from that, the thing that really blew my mind was that they depreciate at the rate. Now, early on, it's about $750 a month. But when you get up to the year 3, they're losing about $1,500 a month in depreciation. My God, it's a wasting asset. It's sitting in your driveway. You're really nervous. People are going around looking at it, and you just know they're looking at, see if you've got cameras and see how big and bad you might be, going to protect your Lambo. And you're losing money. It's depreciating, and you're also paying insurance. But I guess for some people it's cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll sell some Bitcoin and buy a Lambo. No way. If I buy anything, I'll buy another flat or buy, I don't know. Why spend it? Don't want to do that. Certainly revenge spending though, guys. All right. Thanks for your time. Once again, this has been The Week Ahead. My name's Dave Coker. You're going to have an awesome week. A lot of good economic news coming out this week. A lot of optimism in the markets. And remember, in my taxable account, I'm more active now buying stocks than I have been for the past decade. It's every other day I'm buying shares. You should too. Take care.